Intro. The more you reveal your pain, the more people may want to hurt you, although it does not always happen. It is common for some people to take pleasure in seeing you suffer or even contribute to it happening or worsening. This behavior of sadism and envy, unfortunately, is present in many and can indeed hinder your personal growth in various fields of life, be it at work, in a circle of friends, or even in the family. Therefore, learning not to show your weak point can end up becoming your strong point. Imagine yourself as a tree. In the midst of a storm, the leaves may flutter and the branches may sway, but the trunk remains solid, deeply rooted in the earth. This is the portrait of silent resilience that we are going to teach. Here we will talk about how you can be even stronger if you show that you are not easily affected by external internal issues, where each challenge teaches you to be like the tree by acting as if nothing bothers you. You are not denying the storm, but choosing not to let the rain soak you and the wind knock you down. You will be learning to be the master of your own fate, firm, strong, and serene in a sea of chaos. In this video, we will talk about 18 Stoic principles of Epictetus, a great and renowned philosopher you have probably already heard of. In addition, I invite you to self-knowledge, where strength does not come from the noise of thunder, but from the silence of the light that illuminates the path. Therefore, in the next few minutes, focus on the content and not on daily distractions. Let's music go. Music. Principle 1. Listen. Principle number 1. Listen twice as much as you speak. Have you ever thought about why nature gave us 2 ears but only 1 mouth? According to Epictetus, there is no error or coincidence in this, but rather a clear purpose behind this reality. Not to fall in love with our voice as much as we are called to fall in love with the voice of others. It is by learning from others that we advance in life, not by repeating our own speech over and over again. So from today, start paying more attention to what people around you say and less to what you have been upholding until now. Principle number 2. Always expect the worst. One of the biggest causes of anxiety and its devastating consequences is believing that unfavorable circumstances are waiting for us in the future. We fear that our children will abandon their studies, that we will be fired from work, that our spouse will confess to us that they have been having an affair with someone else and ask us for a divorce, or that something else bad will happen to us, such as going bankrupt. The problem is that one day we fear one of these problems and the next day another and another. The path of life, in addition to reserving good and happy parts for us, also reserves a handful of problems that are inevitable. Therefore, we live in permanent stress caused by different stimuli each day, and this is where Epictetus comes into the picture, since his proposal is as drastic as it is effective. He says, think that all these things you fear so much have already happened, so what could be worse? In this way, your spirit will develop coping strategies to move forward with your head held high. Principle number 3. Prepare to fail, because it is the only way to progress. We do the impossible so that we are not considered fools, but Epictetus has another view on this. According to his philosophy, one of the best things that can happen to you is to be considered such as this is the way for you to really improve professionally and personally as well. The Stoic philosopher reminds us that overcoming is not the product of a spontaneous reaction, but rather the result of a long path of trial and error. For it is through error that we can polish what distances us from excellence. Principle number 4b. Principle 4. Fortune. Aware of the dangers of fortune. This wealth that we desire brings with it a stigma from which few people can free themselves, and it's not just about the people who will emerge from nowhere to benefit from our fortune, like by pretending a friendship they don't feel for us. Money has the ability to transform people and not necessarily For the better once we are possessors of this highly coveted resource we come to have something that until then we did not know we had, and it is from that moment that our spirit may begin to poison itself in the face of the loss of moral values. Principle number 5, do not. Principle 5, hope. Cling to a single hope. Fortunately, we are beings inclined to practice diversity, that is, there is no reason to put all our hopes in a single dream, since this could be devastating if we fail in it. Therefore, Epictetus encourages us to pursue many dreams, as this will exponentially increase our chances of success. Principle number 6. Principle 6, death. Always remember that death is waiting at the end of the road. This is not advice that calls us to pessimism, but to be aware that death is the final destination of all our actions, and especially our efforts. Once we have this in mind, perhaps we will start to evaluate to what extent it is worth spending 20 years of our limited life saving to pay for a house that, as much as it weighs on us, we will not be able to take with us wherever we go once death visits us, just as we carry in our bag those objects that we consider indispensable for our daily life, such as the phone, credit cards, and our toothbrush. It would greatly benefit us to carry a small notebook with these Stoic principles, because thanks to them we will no longer see setbacks as misfortunes, nor life as internal time we have at our disposal, but we will acquire a more realistic view of our existence, and certainly make better use of our time of life. Principle number 7, true. Principle 7, wealth. Wealth lies in a contented spirit. Due to the Stoicism, Epictetus had his particular conception of happiness, and we can know it through one of his famous phrases: a wise man is one who does not fret over the things he does not have, but rejoices in those he does have. This reflection is more than a thought, it is advice to learn to stop feeling afflicted by those riches that are not yet part of our life, because while we allow ourselves to complain and mourn for what we lack, we lose valuable minutes of happiness in which we could thank for everything we have achieved so far, which is much more than our eyes are trained to appreciate. Thus, a rich person is above all a happy person. Principle 8, humility. Number 8, incorporate humility into your life. If you really want to learn something, it is essential that a person learns what they believe they already know. Through this phrase, Epictetus calls us to make use of our humility, especially in the realm of learning. Going through life boasting of the pride of knowledge distances us more and more from the authentic knowledge that arises from the conviction that we are completely ignorant about what we intend to learn. In this way, we will look at everything through the eyes of a child, which harbor as much capacity for wonder as they do a desire to learn. Principle